So I want to talk about hunger waves. Here you are, you're actually going through your day, and all of a sudden you have this wave of hunger, and you're like, should I eat? Am I really hungry? So let's just talk about this topic. Now, in the morning at 8 o'clock a.m., you're going to have the highest spike of cortisol through the entire 24-hour rhythm. It's called a circadian rhythm, and different hormones ride this rhythm at different amounts. So you're going to have the most cortisol at 8 o'clock in the morning. So what's happening is your body is going to start releasing sugar to a very small degree, unless there's a big problem with cortisol and you're stressed out, and it might go a little bit higher. So you may find about 8 o'clock in the morning kind of a wave of hunger. So what you need to do is just ignore it, and it should go away. So if it goes away, great. If it doesn't go away, then maybe you are actually hungry. Okay, so you just want to test waters. And another thing that people do is they do this bulletproof coffee. So you put butter or MCT oil or coconut oil in your coffee, and that's definitely going to satisfy you. Now, I recommend that everyone skip the breakfast. The first meal should be maybe at noon, 1 o'clock, maybe even 2, maybe even later. But here's another little thing that people need to realize. If you consume too many carbs in your meal, what's going to happen in about, I'd say, maybe 2.5 hours, or even at night or the next day, you may start craving, because that extra sugar is going to throw up your blood sugars later in the day or even the next day. So the first meal, you drop your carbs and you increase your fat to allow yourself to fast longer. So I think it's important not to have that snack between the first meal and the second meal, even though it's within your eating window, because we want to get some benefit of that fasting between those meals. So the second meal, the same thing. If your carbs are a little too high, what's going to happen is the next day, you're going to be hungry for breakfast. Or you're going to notice sometime through the day, like you're craving carbs. So it's either you're going to be more hungry or you're going to be craving carbs. All right, next point is eating too late. If you're eating past 7, let's say 8 o'clock, 9, I found that there's a chance that you might be hungry in the morning. So it's best to not eat past 7 o'clock if you can't help it. The other point I want to bring up, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, is if you consume too much protein, you're going to spike insulin, because that protein does not directly feed your body fuel. It has to be converted into glucose. So a good portion of protein is not going to repair the body. It's going towards fuel. So this huge amount of protein that you just ate, this huge steak when you went out to a restaurant, don't be surprised if the next day you start becoming hungry earlier in the morning, as well as craving carbs. But in general, if you have this hunger wave, you want to differentiate, am I really hungry? Or is it just a habit? Like, I'm not hungry, I'm just used to eating. And you want to differentiate those two and just tell your body, no, it's not time yet. I'll feed you when it's time. And lastly, if your sleep isn't that great or you go through stress, hunger will go up, cravings will definitely go up.